What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Gabe and this is Tree Ponder SC Fishing. Today I'm doing a little project. We're working on the boat and I want to see if I can make my own custom live well that's gonna fit very hidden inside this bench. All that you're gonna be able to tell is there's gonna be a lid right here. So we're gonna custom fabricate our own small live well, because this year I want to get to Lake Murray and do some striper fishing, and I heard they really love herring. Some guys are using herring, live herring, to catch catfish in Lake Moultrie drifting. So I need to have a live bait well in here, but I don't want it to take up too much space and I don't want it to be too heavy. So the plan is we're gonna very light plywood and we're going to use fiberglass to waterproof it, and we're going to make a live well out of it. But the first step is we need to make a box that's going to fit underneath here, inside these rails. Right now, if I put you up there, there's styrofoam. We're going to take the styrofoam out and create a waterproof box to go inside this bench, and there'll be a lid right here, and then live well. And then we'll put the pump on this empty switch we have right here. But before we can get anything started, we need to make a box that's going to fit in there. So, all right, there's our box. Now all we need to do is fiberglass the inside, and then, oh golly, now all we have to do is fiberglass the inside just with resin. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use caulking to fill in these gaps. Then we're going to actually use fiberglass material to do all the corners. I'm also going to put a lip about this much all the way around this for splashing back and forth to try to keep water inside of it, because it's not going to be completely sealed to the top of the bench, even though I'm probably going to seal it to the top of the bench. We'll figure that out when we get here. I'm kind of flying at the seat of my pants right now. So now I just need to paint fiberglass on the inside of this. So let's do that. All right, guys, so the inside of this is all fiberglass resin now. That's important to remember. Fiberglass resined it. And I'll also use some sealant on all four corners. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to trim this out like that. All right, so that's the next step. All right, I just got to cut these sides. I just had to get these on to get the measurement, the distance right there. And I'll show you what we're dealing with. All right, guys, so we're a couple days later now, and now it's time we start laying out the fiberglass on the outside of this. Remember, I want to make this completely watertight, but I also want to make it strong. So we're going to have to use some of the fiberglass cloth on the outside edges. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all my pre-cut my pieces, and I'm going to I'm gonna start by doing this upside down. Then once it dries, I'll flip it over and do the other side. All right, so first I'm gonna just cut for a second. All right, so now I have a few pre-cut pieces. I don't know if you guys have ever done fiberglass. If you're watching this, if you haven't done fiberglass, I'm just gonna assume you have it. So I'm gonna talk to you like you have it. Before you mix up your fiberglass, make sure you pre-cut your pieces. You don't want to be chasing the clock, because that's basically, once you mix up your sheetrock, once you mix up your fiberglass, you are racing against the clock, because once you add that hardener with it, you have moments to go before it starts turning to gelatin. So make sure you take the time to pre-cut your pieces before you mix up your fiberglass. So now I'm going to mix up a small amount of fiberglass, because you don't want to mix up too much, because you're going to end up wasting it. So I'm going to mix some up. You got to make sure you really mix your fiberglass well, or you'll have raw spots. Raw spots meaning spots that don't dry. First step, the area you're going to apply your cloth to, you need to wet with fiberglass resin first. Take your cloth and get that wet with fiberglass resin as well. Very important you guys use gloves when you're doing this. And then you paint the fiberglass on. So that turned out all right, but could have turned out better. The wind was kind of throwing everything everywhere, stressing me out. I gotta let everything dry off. I'm probably gonna have to do a little bit of sanding and redo a little bit, but this is gonna be hidden inside the bench of the boat, so it's not gonna be, it doesn't have to be pretty, even though I kind of wanted it to look pretty nice, but that's not looking like it's going to happen that way. I think this fiberglass sheeting that I have is kind of cheap and falling apart, and just, you know, not working out that great. That's why I usually use a t-shirt. I use an old cut up t-shirt, and that works so much better. But I wanted this to look really nice, and the fiberglass to almost look transparent, and that's how it looks when it's done right, but it's not really going to be pretty, but it's going to be functional, and that's what's important. Guys, we're a couple days later. After a few coats of fiberglass resin, we are all good to go. She's dry, completely sealed up, and because it rained and I had this thing sitting outside, it's been water tested, so that's fantastic. And it does hold water and it does not leak. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace the old bench, because it's just easier this way, onto a new piece of treated plywood, and then I'm going to cut myself out a new bench, and then I just have to wait. I already have the bubbler, but I don't know where to put the bubbler until I get the cover. And I can't put everything together without the cover, the lid for the Livewell, and that's coming in later on today. So right now I'm just going to cut my piece, and then I'm waiting on that lid, and then I can cut out the hole for the lid and then seal this up with fiberglass resin, and then everything can get put together. All right guys, so I've jumped a little bit ahead since the last time you've seen. I have the top cut, everything's mounted, sealed. This is all fiberglass resin, and as you can tell, it fits pretty nicely inside here. We got a little bit of bellying, but it's in here pretty nicely. I'm pretty happy with it. So I got some finishing touches. I'm gonna trim this area out, and then I got to put the bubbler on, and then the lid, and then this can go right back in the boat. I don't know. I'm really happy with the way this is turning out. For a John boat, this is gonna look pretty sick. And as you can tell, this is gonna be perfect for bait. I mean, you don't really need a live well much bigger than this. So let's get to installing the bubbler, and then some other final steps, and then we're done. All right, guys, so there's the bubbler. I got it. I don't know if you guys can see, but I got it in the side there. I got to put some sealant on the outside, and then I have it run through, and I'm just using a quiet bubbler. I'm going to self-tap the inside right here and here underneath the batteries to this, and then that's sleek. It's on the side. The switch is right there, accessible. You can unscrew this and put new batteries in it. I was gonna do a wired in bubbler, but this is just so much more. This is just simpler. Just, you know, and this boat's all about simple. So simple is what we're gonna get, and I'm a simple guy. So, all right, let me mount this, and then we got to put it back in the boat and put the lid on it, and it's done. And a sealant, obviously sealant. I gotta put sealant right. I gotta put sealant right there. All right, so the bubbler is mounted, and I've sealed up where the bubbler tube goes into here. That stuff is marine adhesive, 3M marine adhesive. Really good stuff. It takes a little while for that stuff to dry, but when it does, it is hard as a rock. Next, I'm going to cut this foam down and put it on each side of this just to fill in that space for a little bit less vibration. All right, the foam is in. All I did was just trim that stuff down, left a little gap there for the air tube, but this should help keep the water in here a little insulated and cooler. I don't know, or it's going to keep it warmer. I don't know. I'm figuring it's going to keep it cooler, so let's just hope for that. But also for vibration, because I took the foam out of the other benches, and now I'm going to have to take these benches back out and try to fit the foam back in it, because this thing rattles, and I heard this foam is supposed to help with the rattling, so I'll find that out later, I guess. All right, guys, so I have it completely mounted, and I have it full of water. Check that out. There's the bubbler. It's not really that quiet, but that is going to work perfect for bait. And as you can see, it's not leaking. This is water that was already in the boat. I got to actually get all the water out of the boat here in a few minutes. But yeah, that is working fantastic. And so is my drain. See that? There's my drain. So I just put the water in there for you guys to check it out. All right, guys, we're out in Cape Romaine today, and we're gonna test out the live well. As you can tell, we got some minnows in here, and it's working great. We're looking for reds, flounder, and spotted sea trout. So let's get right to it. All right, so we found a really cool saltwater pond way back out in the marsh at Cape Romaine. We had a lot of luck. We got 3 keepers. We're gonna have an awesome dinner. Gotta have mac and cheese. That's just the way it's gotta be. So thank you guys for watching. The Livewell worked awesome, no leaks. We're gonna take this boat home. We're gonna cook up some fish. We're gonna clean this thing really good. You guys are gonna like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching.